Squad cars. The story you're about to hear is true. Details are supplied from official case files by the South African police. Only names and places have been changed to protect innocent people involved. Johannesburg, December the 5th, 9:17 a.m. On the second floor of the Excelsior Hotel in Bree Street, a man, Jack Goodman, walks to the ladies' bathroom. He stops outside the closed door, and from within, he hears music and splashing.
Rose? Rose?
Who is it?
It's me, Jack.
What do you want?
Turn the radio down, man. I can't hear myself think. Rose! Rose, turn the wireless down, man. Stop playing the giddy goat. I've got to go out uptown. Rose, are you all right? Rose!
Morning, Jack.
Morning, Basil.
What's the matter?
Ach, it's Rose messing me about. Please, Rose, man, I've got to go now and I must talk to you. Oh, so help me, Basil. I'll break the store down in a minute.
Rose, it's me, Basil. I don't have to replace this door. Now, come on now, Rose. Jack wants to talk to you. Is she all right in there?
Yeah, man, I've spoken to her once.
Rose, for goodness sake! Not like Rose to play games.
You don't know her like I know her.
Rose, if you don't answer, I'm going to have to open the door. There's something wrong.
Never.
Now, what am I going to do?
Well, what's the matter?
Well, I can't get the key in from this side. You see, the key's in the lock on the other side. We're going to have to break it down.
Rose, I'll break your neck if you're having us on.
Now, come on, Jack. Use your shoulder.
Right.
Together. Again. One more. Rose. For Pete's sake, Rose.
No, don't touch her.
Why?
Not unless you want a shock.
You mean the radio?
Of course. I told her about bringing that radio in here. She wouldn't listen.
Oh, I better get a doctor.
Yeah. It won't do much good, though.
Must tell the police as well.
The police?
Of course. You stay here. I'll go phone.
9:32 a.m. Having filled in his SAP 280 form with the details of the call, the constable who received it takes it through to the frequency 1 transmitting room and hands it to the control operator.
Right, Constable. Control to car 5. Come in, number 5. Over.
5 to control. I'm receiving you. Over.
State your position, please. Over.
We're cruising south down Troy Street between President and Market Streets. Over.
Proceed to the Excelsior Hotel in Bree Street. Investigate a report that a woman has been electrocuted in her bath. Over.
5 to control. Received. Over and out.
9:36 a.m. Constables Gallagher and Cachet, the crew of squad car number 5, arrive at their destination. The owner, Basil Raphael, meets them and takes them upstairs to where the tragedy has occurred.
She's a resident here. She and her husband have been with me for about 2.5 years, on and off.
Did you call a doctor?
Oh, yeah, just as a matter of course. Nothing he could do.
Did you apply artificial respiration?
No.
You should have. That's the first thing to do.
Oh, I didn't think about that. She was lying in the bath with her head under water. Naturally, I presume she was dead.
How did it happen?
She always took a radio in the bathroom with her.
Well, a portable wouldn't kill her.
That's not a portable. Well, leastways it is, but it runs off the mains. It's a little table radio.
Well, she was asking for it, wasn't she?
She was told about it often enough, but she wouldn't listen. She used to laugh. This is it.
Good morning, officer.
Morning.
Oh, this is Mr. Goodman, Rosie's husband.
Is a doctor here?
No, not yet.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah, is this radio safe?
Well, it is now. I turned it off with the switch.
I don't know. The silly things people do.
Yeah.
Didn't she know it was dangerous?
Well, heaven knows I told her often enough. Very strong-willed was Rose.
What's the procedure, Constable?
The doctor must see her first.
And then?
We'll get an ambulance to take her to the mortuary.
Is that necessary?
Yes, I'm afraid it is. They'll do a post-mortem as a matter of routine. It's always the way in cases like this.
Poor Rose. We used to argue enough. Fight a bit sometimes. But I loved her. It's going to be funny without her.
What's your first name, Mr. Goodman?
Jack.
And you're a resident at the hotel here?
Yeah, that's right.
Was it you who found her?
Yeah. Mr. Raphael was with me.
You broke the door down and she was just lying there.
Yeah, that's right. The way she is now.
Well, I'll go and report in.
And what will happen then?
They'll send somebody from the murder squad.
Murder squad? What for?
Oh, purely routine, sir. Nothing to worry about. Until he arrives, the officer from the murder squad, nothing's to be touched.
10:47 a.m. Lieutenant Dirk Labuschagne arrives at the Excelsior Hotel and makes his way to the second floor, to the bathroom there. By this time, quite a crowd has collected.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Constable. Get rid of these people. Everybody who's not associated with the case.
Right, sir. Come along now, please. Move along.
Hello, Basil.
Hello, Dick. How are you?
Can't complain. Now, let's see. Mrs. Rose Goodman. Is that Jack's wife?
Yeah.
Ah, poor Rose. Big Rose, one of Joburg's characters.
Yeah, she'll be missed.
Where's Jack?
He's in the bar. Said he needed a drink.
How's he taking it?
He seems all right.
Yes, he's a tough one, that.
Shame. Oh, Rose used to belt him, you know.
Did she?
Oh, she was big enough. She had a right hook that would have made any of the tail wheels envious.
Do they fight a lot?
Well, you know how it is with people like that. Hard gamblers, hard drinkers. Everything they do in a big way. If they have a quarrel, it's a vendetta. Everything larger than life.
Do you think this accident is kosher?
Oh, what do you mean?
Couldn't be a put-up job?
Oh, you cops, talk about nasty minds. Oh, I was there when it happened. Well, almost there. I was just coming along the balcony from the lift, and I see Jack knocking on the bathroom door. I heard him asking her to turn the radio down. I had a little laugh to myself because, well, you know how it was between those two. 1 minute they was all lovey-dovey, the next they were trying to knock the stuffing out of each other. And Rose was always clowning around. Wouldn't have been Rose if she wasn't. I saw Jack getting all desperate. You know how worked up he gets. And I thought it was Rose having him on. When she didn't answer me, I knew there was something wrong.
Had to break the door down, eh?
Well, the key was on the inside. I couldn't get my key in.
Well, we'll just take some routine photographs when members of my staff arrive, and I'll take the radio.
You'll need that for the inquest, will you?
Yeah. Exhibit A.
I suppose because she was in the water, the shock was much greater, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not very scientifically inclined. I don't understand it. How does it work?
Well, if you touch the bare wire with your finger in ordinary circumstances, you'll get a shock. But it's more than likely that you'd survive.
Why?
Well, in the first place, the shock, 10 to 1, would knock your hand away, breaking the contact.
Yeah.
In the second place, only a very small area of your body is involved. So the resistance to the current is much higher.
Yeah, I see.
Now, take poor Rose. Now, she was sitting in a bath full of water. She must have touched the live connection with her hand, and practically her whole body conducted electricity, water being such a good conductor.
Shame. What a way to go, eh?
2:09 p.m. The murder squad headquarters, Brixton. Lieutenant Labuschagne walks into a workshop and addresses Sergeant Liebenberg.
Good afternoon, Sergeant.
Afternoon, sir.
And, how did you get on Saturday?
Oh, we won. 22 points to 19.
Sounds like a tight game.
Was terrific. What can I do for you? You want your radio fixed, sir?
No. I want you to have a look at this. And, tell me what's wrong with it.
Doesn't work, eh?
No, it works all right, I think. But be careful. There's some kind of short on it. It killed a woman in her bath this morning.
Oh? Well, that was bad luck.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering. This is a woman who's been taking this radio into the bathroom with her every morning for the last couple of years. And all of a sudden, she's electrocuted.
Silly thing to do.
Now, why this morning? Why not yesterday morning? Why didn't it happen 6 months ago?
Do you suspect foul play?
You know, Sergeant, very often something is said to me that all isn't well. It's something that sits on my shoulder and whispers in my ear. Some folks might call it sixth sense. I don't know what it is, but I've got it. I want you to have a look at this radio for me.
Sure.
I want to know how the deceased, a woman called Rose Goodman, came to get a fatal shock off this radio.
Easily done if she was fiddling with it with wet hands. It happens in kitchens very often, turning the electric kettle off or the iron.
Well, I don't know much about these things, but I would have thought that she'd need to touch a live wire or something. Now, anybody can see there isn't one. Not visibly, anyway.
Well, let's have a look. We'll plug it in for a start and switch it on.
Careful, man.
I'll watch it. I'll use this to see if there's any current about. No. Nothing here. Let's see on this side. No, nothing here either. So we'll switch it off. Now, open the pack and see what we can find here. Run some juice through it. Give it a touch here and... No. Oh, that's all right. And here... Hey. That's funny.
What is it?
This spindle's live.
Now, what's that for?
Oh, it's the volume control.
Is that the spindle to which the volume control knob is attached?
Yes.
So, if I touch the knob, I'll get a shock.
I don't see how you could. The knob's plastic.
Oh.
But there's something funny here, sir. Somebody's made a mess of this.
Why?
Well, there's a lead from the power input, a little wire, soldered onto the volume control spindle.
Now, what's that? The earth?
Never. Now, the earth goes along the wire to the power source, the plug.
So, what's this extra bit of wire for?
Somebody's been monkeying with this radio. Recently, too. See, the solder's new.
So somebody has interfered with the wiring.
Correct, sir.
And it's my guess that somebody wanted Rose Goodman out of the way.
Do you think she was murdered, then?
It certainly looks like it.
2:17 p.m. Lieutenant Loboscockney of the murder squad and Sergeant Liebenberg are still in the workshop at headquarters, Brixton.
But I don't see how. I told you, sir. You can't get a shock off the volume control knob. It's made of plastic. Plastic doesn't conduct electricity.
Well, let's have a look at it. Switch it off, Sergeant. I don't want to catch a shock. Now then, let's see. Through the magnifying glass, you can see scratches on the head of the little brass screw which holds the knob into the spindle. You see? This little countersunk screw here.
Yes, sir.
Now, what conclusion can we draw from that, do you think?
Well, I'd say this screw has been tampered with recently.
Let's have another look. Yes, they're the sort of marks a screwdriver would make. A little screwdriver. The notch in the screw's damaged.
They very often get like that when they're stuck and you have to exert a lot of pressure. Brass is soft, sir. It marks and bends very easily.
Yes, but this notch in the screw is damaged on both sides. Now, what does that mean?
That it's been unscrewed and then screwed up again, tight.
Tight with the screwdriver.
It's on tight, all right.
Well, that's certainly something to puzzle about. I don't know what to make of it.
There's been some funny business somewhere.
But how? If my hand was wet and I touched that knob, and the water off my fingers filled that little cavity where the screw is, would that be enough of a contact to give me a serious shock?
It might be, sir.
But it wouldn't be a sure thing.
No.
Now, how could I make it a sure thing?
Well, if that screw which secures the knob to the spindle were longer...
That's it, of course. Yes, that's what happened. I'll bet you anything you like the little screw was removed, replaced by a longer screw, possibly long enough to stick out above the plastic, and then this little screw was put back again afterwards.
Gee. Yeah, you've got to take your hat off to a bloke who dreamed something up like that. It's fantastic.
Clever, eh?
Any ideas about who did it?
Not yet. But I should have before I'm much older.
4:03 p.m. Upon his return to the Excelsior Hotel with various members of the robbery squad staff, Lieutenant Abuscaki asks the owner, Basil Raphael, to accompany him to the scene of Rose Goodman's death.
I want you to show us where Rose Goodman would have plugged her radio in.
Oh, that's easy. It was always the same wall plug in the passage. The one the boys used for their vacuum cleaners. Yeah, this one here. She plugged the radio in here, and the flex went under the bathroom door.
Right. Sergeant.
Sir?
I want that plug checked for fingerprints.
Right, sir.
Now, is there somewhere you and I can have a little private chat, Basil?
Oh, sure. Number 28's vacant. We can go in there. Come on.
Right.
What's going on?
Oh, I don't quite know yet. I'm hoping you can help me on that score.
Me?
Is this it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you are.
Ah, thanks.
Sit down. Make yourself at home.
Thank you.
Now, what's this all about?
Who didn't get on with Rose around here?
Oh, nobody. Everybody liked Rose. What is all this?
I have reason to believe that Rose's death wasn't accidental.
You're joking.
I wish I were.
That means she was murdered.
I think so.
But how? It's impossible. I was there when it all happened. I'd been upstairs to see how Erica was getting on. Just popped in for a cup of coffee and a smoke.
Yeah?
Anyway, as I left the flat and came to the lift, I saw Jack knocking on the bathroom door. And I heard Rose asking who it was. You know, she said, who is it? Well, and Jack said it was him, and Rose asked him what he wanted. The wireless was going, and Jack said for her to turn the radio down because he couldn't hear her proper.
Ah. Did she talk after that?
No, but I mean, well, how can it be murder? She was locked in the bathroom all by herself. I can vouch for that.
You were a nice, convenient witness, weren't you?
Well, I just happened to be there at that time.
Rose and Jack, have they quarreled a lot lately?
No more than usual. They always quarreled.
Anything in particular just lately?
Now, look, I don't want to make any trouble for anybody.
Just tell me what you know, Basil. I'll be the judge of that.
Well, about 2 weeks ago, we got a new resident. She's a flashy blonde, divorcee. Until lately, she was knocking about with a boxing promoter. Anyway, he kicked her out, and she come here to stay.
And she and Jack have taken a shine to each other.
Yeah.
And what was Rose's reaction to that?
Oh, she was just jealous at first. She made a crack here and dropped a remark there, but it didn't look serious. And then last week, Jack and Rose had a scrap. It was late at night. Well, after closing time. And I could hear the furniture going and the yelling. I had to separate them.
Who was winning?
And Rose. She's a big woman. I tell you, I wouldn't like her to clout me.
Do things simmer down after that?
On the surface, yeah.
But you reckon things were cooking up underneath?
No, when you've been in the hotel business as long as I have, you get to know people pretty well. You're aware of atmospheres.
So, what do you think happened after the fight?
Jack and the blonde still fancy each other, but he was terrified of Rose. He was remembering the hiding she'd given him.
She really stitched him up, eh?
Yeah. If it hadn't been so serious, it would have been funny.
Anything else you can tell me?
I think I've said too much as it is.
Who has the room next to the Goodmans?
Which side?
Nearest the bathroom.
Let me see. Yes, Jean Norgard.
What does she do?
Oh, she's a hostess at a club.
Is she here now?
Sure to be.
Good. I think I'd like a little chat with, by the way, is she Mrs. or Miss?
She's another divorcee.
Right. If you'll show me her room. And I'd like to have a word with you, Mrs. Norgard.
Sure.
Well, you won't be needing me for a little while then, eh?
Thanks, Basil.
I'll be downstairs if you want me.
Right. Now then, Mrs. Norgard.
What do you want to know?
What time were you up and about this morning?
Oh, early. Well, early for me, that is. About 8. I had a terrible night last night. Couldn't sleep.
Was there noise from next door?
No, not last night. I think it must have been something I ate.
Did you see anything of Mr. and Mrs. Goodman this morning?
Yes, I saw them both.
Under what circumstances? What were they doing?
Well, I saw Jack first. I'd been in the other bathroom, and I came out and bumped into Jack going into the other one, the other ladies. Oh, morning, Jack.
Oh, morning, Jean.
taking Rose's radio into the bathroom for her?
Yeah, I thought I'd spoil her a bit today, run a bath and have her radio going, just the way she likes it.
That's very sweet. Nobody ever looked after me like that.
Because you've been backing losers, that's why.
Yeah, I need a change of luck. That's all we said to each other.
Did Jack usually put the radio in the bathroom for Rose?
I never saw him do it before.
And you saw Rose go to the bathroom?
Yes. My door was open, and I heard Jack talking as he led Rose into the bathroom. They were laughing. I don't know what he said, and I don't know what they were laughing about.
Was the radio going at the time?
Yes, full bore.
Uh-huh. Now, what do you think they were talking about as they went to the bathroom?
Well, I suppose he was showing off, wanting a pat on the back for being a sweet husband, for spoiling her.
I see. All right, Mrs. Norgop, thanks for your help.
Help?
Oh, yes, undoubtedly. Sorry to bother you again, Basil.
No, it's all right.
But there's something else I need to know from you. Who actually called the flying squad?
Well, I did.
Did you leave Jack with Rose while you went downstairs?
Yeah.
The radio was still going after you'd broken down the door?
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Now, Basil, I want you to think very carefully. Remember just the way it was. When you went back upstairs to the bathroom, having phoned the flying squad, was the radio on or off?
It was off.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. It was making such a row when we broke the door down that normal conversation was quite difficult. Yet it was definitely off when I got back.
Right. Well, I think it's time I had a little chat with Mr. Jack Goodman.
Yeah, but I don't understand what's going on.
I think I've got a pretty clean picture of the way it was.
You think Jack killed Rose?
I don't think. I know he did.
But how?
I know that, too. Sergeant.
Sir?
Did you check that plug for prints?
Oh, yes, sir. There is a thumbprint on the switch.
Clear and distinctive?
Oh, yes, sir. A double loop.
Right. Now, come with me, please.
Yes, sir.
Right, here we are. Mr. Jack Goodman?
Yes?
I want a word with you. But you sit down there. There are one or two questions you have to answer, and there are one or two things I have to find.
Now, wait a minute.
Sit down. Sergeant, take his fingerprints.
All right, sir.
Now, listen, you can't come barging in here.
I know my rights, Mr. Goodman. What were you before you became a professional gambler?
I did a lot of things. I was a clothing salesman. I was in the furniture business.
Did you ever run a radio repair shop?
No.
Did you work in one? Now, just be careful what you say, because we can always check your answers.
Well, for a little while, when I was a kid, I helped my Uncle Avey. He had a small electrician's business. Now, what are you doing looking in there?
Sit down.
And what have we here? Small screwdriver, flex, solder, soldering iron, and most important of all, one small brass screw. This is what killed your wife.
Don't talk rubbish, man.
Yes, it is, and I can prove it. I'm sure this little screw will fit the plastic knob in your wife's radio. I'm also sure that when I try it, it'll be too long. In other words, the head will protrude above the surface of the knob. It screws onto the volume control spindle, which someone, you, made live by soldering a piece of wire to it from the main electricity supply.
You're out of your mind.
That may be so, but I'm sure I'm right. You wanted Rose out of the way so that you'd be free to play with your blonde girlfriend. You were afraid of Rose because physically she was capable of giving you a hiding. I've got to hand it to you. The imagination you used to get rid of Rose was worthy of Agatha Christie. You rigged the radio with a long screw. You put it in the bathroom, switch it on. And that meant that the volume control was live. You set it at the level your wife normally had it playing, and when you were sure that she was in the bath and that there was somebody about who would see you knocking on the door, you called to your wife and asked her to turn the radio down under the pretext that you couldn't hear what she was saying. When your wife was dead, and you had broken into the bathroom, and Basil Raphael went downstairs to dial 30, you switched the current off of the wall plug, unscrewed the long brass screw, this one here, and put back the original short grub screw. Very cunning. You almost got away with it. You might have, if it hadn't been for that little something that sits on my shoulder and whispers in my ear.
Besides a policeman's intuition, there were other factors which led to Jack Goodman's conviction. The crime laboratories proved that the wire in the radio, which had been soldered onto the volume control spindle to render the knob lethal, was the same as the wire found in the drawer of the bedside table in Goodman's hotel room. The solder matched, too, and the thumbprint was Goodman's. After a lengthy trial, Goodman was condemned to death. He was subsequently hanged. They prowl the empty streets at night, waiting. In fast cars, on foot, living with crime and violence, these men are on duty 24 hours out of every 24. They face dangers at every turn, expecting nothing less. They protect the people of South Africa. These are the men of Squad Cars.
Squad Cars. General Motors and their dealer organization throughout Southern Africa proudly bring you the drama, the danger, the thrills, and the facts when the long arm of the law travels in Squad Cars. The story you're about to hear is true. Details are supplied from the official case filed by the South African police. Only names and places have been changed to protect innocent people involved.
"8:35 p.m. on the 25th of March. Station Street, Port Elizabeth. A police patrol vehicle driven by Warrant Officer Harman pulls up in front of a parked taxi. The warrant officer and Lieutenant Stein alight from the vehicle.
Are you sure about the registration number?
Yes, sir. CB19229.
The name of the driver?
Gardner, sir.
Right, let's have a word with Mr. Gardner. Seen us coming.
But he's staying put.
Good evening.
Yeah?
We'd like to ask you some questions about the death of a man called Van Hastien.
Look out, sir. He's off.
Just a minute. Stop. Mister, if that's the way you want to play, let's go and get him, Mr. Harmon.
8:36 p.m. The taxi, which was facing northwest, suddenly prescribes a half circle in the road, skidding violently. Then the driver swings the vehicle to the right into Jetty Street. The two policemen run to their car and jump in.
He's not wasting any time.
No, sir.
He turned right here.
Can you see him, sir?
Yes, there he is, going up White's Road.
He seems to be implicated, sir, judging from the way he took off.
Yes, I thought it was perhaps another wild goose chase. Some crank or other.
How did you come by the information, sir?
I should think it was about 5 to 8 when the phone rang in my desk. Lieutenant Stein.
Constable Lange. Call for you, sir.
Who is it?
The caller wouldn't say, sir. He says he has vital information about a murder and wanted to speak to the officer in charge.
All right, put him through.
Very good, sir. You through now? Speak up, please. Hello?
What's your name?
Never mind that. 3 weeks ago, a man called Chick Van Hastien died. They say he died of pneumonia. Well, he didn't. He was murdered.
Is this for real, or are you wasting my time?
It's for real, all right.
Did this happen here in Port Elizabeth?
Yes.
How do you know?
That's something else best left unsaid. Talk to a taxi driver called Gardner. He drives a cab with a registration number CB19229. He can tell you everything you need to know. You'll find him in Station Street.
Hello. Warrant Officer Hammond.
Sir?
Bring a car around. We're going downtown.
He's doubled back on himself, sir. He's going down Military Road.
Crazy fool. Stick with him.
Hold tight, sir.
8:40 p.m. The speeding taxi careers along South Union Street and swerves violently into Walmer Road. The police vehicle follows in hot pursuit. At the junction of Hill Road, Warrant Officer Hammond is confronted with the sight of an articulated petrol tanker emerging to cross their path and come down the hill towards town.
Watch your face, sir. I'm throwing out the anchors. Get the thing out of the way, man.
I'm stuck here. I misjudged the turn.
That's all we needed. Back up and go around the block.
Right, sir.
But by the time the two policemen regain the Walmer Road, there's no sight of their quarry.
Last.
Sorry, sir.
Not your fault. It was that clown with the petrol lorry. Anyway, drive as far as the airport. We may be lucky. I'll alert control. This is Special Duties Vehicle number 2, calling control. Over.
Go ahead, number 2. Over.
Put out a general alert for a cream Detroit, model unknown. Registration number CB19229. The driver, a man believed to be called Gardner, is wanted for questioning in regard to an investigation set in motion by an anonymous informer earlier this evening. We ourselves are proceeding as far as the airport. Over and out.
Lieutenant Stain and Warrant Officer Hammond actually drive 30 miles beyond their objective without seeing any sign of the vehicle they're pursuing. Disconsolately, they drive back to Port Elizabeth, where the investigation is resumed early the next day.
Oh, come on.
Registrar, births, marriages, and deaths. Can I help you?
Morning, Lieutenant Stain, CID. What details have you of a man thought to be called Chick Van Hastings? I have reason to believe that he died some 3 weeks ago.
Just hang on. I'll look it up for you.
Thank you. Any news of that taxi, Mr. Hammond?
No, sir. But I've managed to get Gardner's address from the licensing office. The name's correct, sir. Henry Gardner, Russell Heights, Main Street. I've got the car out in the front if you want to go down there.
Good, when I'm through here.
Right, sir.
Hello?
Yes, still here.
The only Van Hastings who died around that time was called Cedric. He was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital on the evening of the 2nd of March. He was of no fixed address and was buried in a pauper's grave.
Have you got the death certificate in front of you?
Yes.
What was the cause of death?
It says here, lobar pneumonia.
Was there an autopsy?
No.
Any next of kin quoted?
No.
What's the grave number?
145 East 25.
145 East 25. Good, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Right, Mr. Hammond, let's go to Russell Heights, Main Street. What connections did your husband have with a man called Cedric Van Hastings?
Van Hastings? I don't think I ever heard him mention anybody by that name. Why? What's going on?
Who are your husband's friends and associates?
I don't think he has any. Keeps himself very much to himself, but what's all this about?
Well, I'm not quite sure yet, Mrs. Gardner. But your husband's wanted for questioning, and it's my duty to inform you of the law and the penalties involved regarding the harboring of criminals.
Criminals? You mean Henry?
We tried to talk to him last night, and he behaved in a most suspicious manner. He was last seen driving in the direction of the airport. If he comes back here, you'd be advised to contact me. My name is Lieutenant Stain. At the CID.
But what's it all about?
I don't know. But your husband's afraid of something.
Lieutenant Stain places the facts that he's uncovered at the disposal of the brigadier in charge of the CID, along with a request for an exhumation order. The brigadier is sufficiently impressed to channel the request to the right quarter. The order is granted, and the next day, the 27th of March, sees Lieutenant Stain and Warrant Officer Hammond at the graveside in company with the district surgeon.
What's it all about, anyway?
Haven't the foggiest idea, but there's something not right here.
Gently, huh? Back that vehicle a bit closer.
post-mortem?
Yes, please, Doctor.
What are you looking for? Or should I say, what do you want me to look for?
I don't know.
One of those, eh? Well, it might take a little time.
I'm in no hurry.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, gentlemen.
That's all right, Doctor. Was it as difficult as you feared?
Very interesting. This is the way the official autopsy report will read.
Thank you. This is the body of a well-developed, well-nourished white male, 6 feet in height and weighing 170 pounds. There is evidence that the deceased suffered grave injuries recently, with fractures of the skull, arms, legs, and ribs. There were also multiple internal injuries.
And those injuries should have been enough to kill him, but they didn't. And neither did lobar pneumonia. Read on.
In death, the body developed the characteristic cherry red color of carbon monoxide poisoning, with a concentration of 34.3%. Carbon monoxide poisoning. You sure?
You want a second opinion?
No. I just find it strange that some member of the medical profession could have been so obliging as to write on the death certificate pneumonia as the cause of death.
Well, anyone can make a mistake. Doctors aren't infallible, you know.
Carbon monoxide. A car's exhaust fumes?
No.
How can you speak with such certainty?
When fuel is burned in an engine, there's a residue of carbon. There were no deposits of carbon in Van Hastien's lungs whatsoever.
So?
I plugged for coal gas, ordinary household gas that you cook with.
Is it suicide, then?
Lieutenant, it's up to you to discover that.
If it wasn't for Gardner's suspicious behavior, I'd plump with suicide.
Gardner?
Local taxi driver. He's on the run somewhere.
That sounds intriguing.
Oh, it is.
What's the next move then, sir?
Just a minute, Mr. Hammond. Doctor, these other injuries you mentioned, these fractures and so on, you said they indicated recent injuries. How recent?
Well, judging from the calcium secreted by the body to repair the fractures, I'd say that these injuries occurred within the last 6 months.
I see. All right, Doctor, thank you. I'd be grateful for a typed copy of the PM report as soon as it's available.
Of course.
I'll be seeing you again, I suppose.
Yes, sure. Where are you off to now?
The hospital. Come on, Mr. Hammond.
You're very lucky. We don't normally keep things for this long, you know.
And these are the clothes Van Hasteen was wearing when he was brought in on the 2nd of March?
That's right.
Pretty shabby, aren't they?
Yeah, typical of a hobo, though.
Well, I've met well-nourished hobos.
This envelope. A few things he had on him. Comb, matches, cigarettes, 9 cents, empty half-jack.
Not much of a legacy, is it? I'm going to take him with me. You want a receipt?
No. No good to us. Shouldn't think they're any dependents. Shouldn't think they'd be worth more than a bob or two.
They might be worth a great deal to me. We'll see what they look like under a microscope.
Mortuary.
Is Lieutenant Stain with you?
Hang on. For you.
Thanks. Lieutenant Stain?
Constable Longer here, sir. Message for you. Henry Gardner has been picked up in Cape Town. Western Cape request instructions.
Has he got his car with him?
Apparently, sir.
Get the Brigadier to issue a request to the effect that he be brought here with the car. Under escort.
The Brigadier's request to the police in the Western Cape is complied with. And within 24 hours, Henry Gardner is being interrogated by Lieutenant Stain.
Why did you run away?
I was scared.
Why?
I got fright. Well, so did anyone. Policeman suddenly pitching up at your car door like that.
Oh, come on, Gardner. You might get a fright for a few seconds or so, but a policeman at the door of your car shouldn't be enough to send you scurrying across country to Cape Town. What's the game?
It's no crime to run away from the police.
I ordered you to stop.
I didn't hear you.
All right, let's try another tack. Who was Cedric Van Hasteen?
I don't know.
Or did you know him better as Chick?
I don't know the name.
It was enough to send you off in a blue funk.
I've got nothing more to say to you.
Somebody phoned me A man. To tell me that Van Hasteen had been murdered. He said that you could help us with our investigations. Now then, Gardner, you may find this interesting. This is an analysis report on the few belongings that Van Hasteen had when he died. Traces of blood of the A1-MNRH group were found. A carbon test determined that the blood was 115 days old. It was present on the shirt, jacket, trousers, socks, and shoes.
Huh?
Well, there seems to be a lengthy report on the various kinds of dust which were found in the clothing. I'm not concerned with that. I'm attracted to this bit, though. Listen. Yes? A minute sample, a trace, of cellulose paint of the type used in the spraying of cars was discovered. Microscopic examination revealed that the pigments used to color the paint were conducive to producing the color cream. What have you got to say to that?
Oh, what do you expect me to say? What does that prove?
The color of your taxi is cream.
Hey, what are you getting at?
Now, look, Gardner, you could save us a lot of time and trouble if you tell me what happened.
I don't know what happened. I have nothing to do with this man.
Well, we'll see. Just to keep you in the picture, I'd better tell you that I'm going to scrape a sample of paint off your car and send it to the government laboratories for comparison. Meanwhile, you stay here.
Here's the address, sir, where they collected Van Hasteen that night.
Algoa Boarding House, Strand Street.
I made inquiries about it, sir. Boarding house is very grandiose. It's a place where you can buy a bed for the night for 15 cents.
Not exactly the Ritz, eh?
No, sir. It's just on the left here, sir. It's apparently run by a Mrs. Combrink. Oma Combrink. Quite a character.
Where's the entrance?
Up the wooden steps here, sir. Up on the first floor.
Dark enough.
And smelly enough.
Who's there?
Police.
What do you want? I run a respectable place here. Never any trouble.
A little more than 3 weeks ago, a man died here.
That's right. Oh, Chick. What of it?
Where did he die?
In his bed. We didn't know he was so sick. He went in the night like the snuffing of a candle. He was a regular customer of mine, man and boy, for 15 years.
Who was with him when he died?
Nobody. It's a rule of the house, one person per bed.
Do you have gas here?
That's right. It's permitted by the health authorities. I've got a license to prove it.
Use it for light?
Yeah, they made me put in electricity. Cost a packet, too.
You use it for cooking?
That's it. Cooking. Wholesome food, nice, clean veg.
So where's the kitchen?
Just along here. First on the right. Mind your head.
I see. And where are the dormitories? The sleeping area?
Oh, up the passage on the left.
Is it possible to get into the kitchen at night?
Oh, yeah. Everything's locked away. They can't steal nothing.
See. Who actually found Van Hasteen?
Now, let me see. Oh, yeah, it was Chaffee. They sometimes worked on the road together. You know, they follow the sun, these boys. Hitchhike and walk all over the country.
Is, Chappie a nickname?
Yeah, that's right. His real name's Finch. He'd been with Chick for some time before his death. He said they was caught in a storm down by George. Chick caught his death, pneumonia, you see.
That's what Finch said, eh?
That's right.
Is Finch staying here at the moment?
No, I haven't seen him since Monday night.
Monday. That was the 25th, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. He just popped in and collected his case and said he was off again.
What does he look like?
Why? What do you want him for?
Just a routine matter.
He's small, you know. He's got jackal's features, very sharp. Of course, he's brown and lined. He's skinny, too. But ask any gentleman of the road. They'll tell you where to find him.
Mr. Harmon, get on to control for a general alert. I'm going to see Dr. Meyerowitz. Dr. Meyerowitz, did you sign this death certificate?
Yes. Why? What appears to be the trouble?
You say that cause of death was pneumonia. Did you treat the man prior to his death?
No. What appears to be the trouble?
Cedric Van Hasteen died of carbon monoxide poisoning. He was gassed.
Good heavens, no. Not really.
What led you to the conclusion that he died of pneumonia?
It was his friend said so. He said he'd been ill for some time with a cough, temperature and so on. He told of how they'd been caught in a storm. It seemed very conclusive. I'm in semi-retirement, you know. To tell you the truth, I was rather anxious to get away from the place. I don't have the practice that I had. I took the man's word in good faith. I hope it's not going to lead to any unpleasantness.
The man who gave you the information about Van Hastings' state of health, what did he look like?
He's a little man with a foxy face.
The prisoner, sir.
Come and sit down, Gardner.
You can't hold me here like this?
Yes, I can, and I'm going to hold you until I'm satisfied about the circumstances surrounding Van Hastings' death.
I've never heard of that man. How many more times must I tell you?
Here's another lab report that I'd like you to hear. Also an analysis. You remember we took a sample of paint from your car? Well, the labs say that it matches the paint found on Van Hastings' clothing.
It's impossible.
I'm afraid not. You've got forensic science against you, Gardner. This report is properly certified. It's legal evidence. And if I add this evidence to other things which were discovered during a post-mortem examination of Van Hastings' body, I get something which seems to add up to a nasty accident involving your taxi and Van Hastings. That's logic.
You examined the body?
That's right. The body was exhumed. What have you got to say to that?
I want to talk to a lawyer.
Yes, certainly. You have that right. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Now, I want to talk to a lawyer. I'm not saying another word until I do.
Any news of Finch, the hobo? Well, I want him found. He's vital in the case. Please, yes, I don't care if he's gone to Southwest Africa. I want him here in PE.
Chappie? No, I haven't seen him since Durban last year.
Must be all of 3 years since I shed a blow for pain boiler room of my pinch over.
Yeah, we rode the rails together across the border. There was a mistake on my part. They kicked me out of Botswana and told me not to come back.
Yeah? My name's Finch.
You're under arrest.
What for?
You're wanted in South Africa.
You can't make me go there.
I'm afraid we can. You're being extradited.
But I haven't done anything.
They think differently in Port Elizabeth. You'll be taken there under escort on tonight's train. You're such a VIP, they're having a reception committee laid on to meet you. A Lieutenant Stain.
Now then, Finch, was it you who phoned me on the 25th of March?
Phoned you? Where? Why?
I've had the whole story from Gardner.
You what? Hey, has he blabbed a lot then?
I'm afraid so. You're very seriously implicated in the death of Cedric Van Hastings.
Is that what he told you?
Yes.
Well, let me put the record straight. You're not going to stretch my neck. So let me tell you the way it really happened.
I'm listening. Gardner, I want to tell you a story. There was once a taxi driver. It was quite late one night. The way I figure it, it was the 6th, 7th, or 8th of November. This taxi driver had had more to drink than was good for him. He collected a pedestrian on his front fender. He panicked. He drove away from the scene of the accident without reporting it to anyone. He thought at first he'd killed the pedestrian, but he hadn't.
But
the pedestrian lived. Not only that, he remembered the make and registration number of the car that hit him. He didn't say anything to the police because he had nearly 4 months free hospitalization. That meant he had bed and board at the provincial administration's expense.
Yes, but
wait a minute. But while he was in hospital, he got to thinking, and when he came out, the first thing he did was to contact the man who'd knocked him down and left him for dead. He began to blackmail him, and the taxi driver, realizing that he was in danger of losing his license, and therefore his means of livelihood, decided that it would be best to do away with the pedestrian.
Listen.
He even went to the lengths of procuring an accomplice. Together, the taxi driver and his accomplice plied the pedestrian with drink until he was insensible. Then they took him, in the taxi, ironically enough, to the Algoa boarding house in Strand Street. They pretended to put him to bed for the night. And during the night, on his own, The taxi driver dragged the poor, unfortunate pedestrian into the kitchen. It was there that he forced a rubber pipe down the pedestrian's throat. The other end was attached to a gas tap. He turned on the gas, and it wasn't very long before the pedestrian departed from this world.
No, it's a lie. I never...
Yes, you did. And I'm glad to say that I'm in a position to prove it.
Bulge as he vehemently denies Lieutenant Staines' accusations.
Finch is a liar. If that's what he says about me.
That's mistake number 2, Gardner. I only ever called him an accomplice in the story. How'd you know his name was Finch?
No, please. I'm sorry. I was frightened. I stood to lose everything. He was only a bum man, I hope.
He was also a human being. The other mistake you made...
No, please, give him a chance.
It's a bit late for that, Gardner. What chance did you give Van Hastings? You murdered him like a dog. If you'd paid your accomplice the money you promised him, this would never have happened. You kept putting him off, and he got so fed up that he phoned me. That was the beginning of the end for you. If you'd only stopped after that accident in November. It was November, wasn't it?
Yes.
You'd have only lost your license. This way you stand to lose everything.
Edward Finch turned state's evidence in the case and was sent to prison for 10 years. Confronted with the overwhelming evidence of Finch and medical science, a judge and 2 assessors had no hesitation in sentencing Henry Gardner to die on the gallows.
They prowl the empty streets at night, waiting, in fast cars, on foot, living with crime and violence. These men are on duty 24 hours out of every 24. They face dangers at every turn, expecting nothing less. They protect the people of South Africa. These are the men of Squad Cars. Listen again next Friday evening to another authentic story in our dramatic South African police series, Squad Cars, brought to you by General Motors, makers of the biggest and most exciting range of cars, trucks, and commercial vehicles in the world. Cadillac, Buick, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Beaumont, Chevrolet, Opel, Holden, Vauxhall, Bedford, GMC, and Ranger, South Africa's own car. Squad Cars. The story you're about to hear is true. Details are supplied from the official case files by the South African police. Only names and places have been changed to protect innocent people involved.
Johannesburg, December the 14th, 11:35 p.m. The central city area is starting to quieten down as the last of the cinema crowds leave for the suburbs. There are still a few diners in the restaurants that dot the area. Donald and Louise Jamison, both in their late 40s, step into Commissioner Street after having had a meal in the Marlborough restaurant. They make their way to one of the large parking garages in Van Bronder Street, taking the lift down to the 3rd level. Only a few cars dot the large expanse of concrete.
I can't say that's the best meal we've ever had at the Marlborough.
No, but it was a fun evening.
But that's not quite the point. I mean, they put their prices up. I think the standard's gone down. It's hardly fair exchange. I don't mind paying if I feel I'm getting value for my money.
Oh, don't be so mean, Donald. We can afford it.
I don't like throwing money around.
Well, we'll go back there again.
Well, we'll give them one more chance.
The whole point being that you like the place.
Yes. Well, I think I'll have a chat with Guido and tell him to pull his socks up or we won't eat there again. I give him a lot of business. I mean, tonight alone we were a party of 8.
All right, then you have a talk to him.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Donald, that man over there coming this way.
Oh, now what's wrong?
Sorry to bother you.
Yes? What can I do for you?
I've got a bit of a problem. I need a lift.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't give people lifts, but if you're stuck, I'll give you the money for a taxi.
I'm not begging for money.
Well, then I'll lend you the money. You can pay me back.
I said I need a lift.
Donald, he's got a gun.
Before Donald Jamison can react to his wife's warning, the man pushes a heavy caliber revolver against his head, reaches into the car, and turns the ignition off. The man's name is Benny Lamont. English-born, he's been in South Africa for 30 years, ever since deserting from the Royal Navy whilst his ship was in port in Durban. Since then, Lamont has lived by his wits, assuming a dozen different aliases. He has always managed to keep one step ahead of the police. Donald Jamison sits frozen in the driver's seat. His wife Louise stares in horror as Lamont opens the driver's door.
All right, me old mate. Get out of the car nice and slow.
Look, if you want money...
Of course I want money. What do you think I am, an amateur?
Please, don't hurt us.
Relax, lady. I'm not going to hurt you. That's not my style.
If you want the car, just take it. I don't mind.
You don't mind. Oh, I like that. You don't mind. Oh, that's a laugh. As a matter of interest, if you did mind, what would you do about it?
Well, nothing. I mean, you've got that gun. What do you want?
I told you, I want a lift.
Where to?
Well, now, that sort of depends.
Well, why don't you just take the car?
Because, love, if I drive out of here in your car, you run off to the cops, and the next thing, all the little boys in blue are out looking for me. And I wouldn't like that. So you're going to drive us?
What do you mean, us?
Oh, didn't I tell you about Sid?
No. Who is Sid?
Oh, I must introduce you. Sid, come on, lad, move yourself. Transport's ready.
Took you long enough. What you been doing? Having a party?
Sid du Toit moves out of the shadows and walks towards the car. Du Toit is considerably younger than Lamont, but twice his size, and unlike Lamont, has not always been able to avoid the attention of the police. Du Toit has spent most of his life in prison. Donald Jamison stands next to his car. Benny Lamont is on his right, and Sid du Toit on his left.
This is my old mate, Sid. Now, come on, say hello to Sid.
Hello, Sid.
What about you, lady?
Hello, Sid.
How do you like that, Sid, eh? Got him well trained, haven't I, eh? And only took a couple of minutes.
Sure.
And a loaded gun, of course, to do
I'm
it.
impressed. Now, come on, let's move. There's still cars down here. If we hang around, we're going to end up with an audience.
Yeah, you're right there, Sid. Come on, let's get moving.
Well, who's going to drive?
Oh, now, that's a stupid question. It's your car. I wouldn't dream of driving someone else's car. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Come on, hurry up, Benny. I don't like standing around
Now,
here.
take it easy, Sid. Now, Mr. What's your name?
Jamison.
And this is your wife, Mr. Jamison?
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I don't like nonsense, if you get my meaning. Now, Mr. Jamison, you're going to drive. Your lady wife is going to sit in the back with my friend Sid here. He carries a knife, you know. Oh, bad boy with a knife is our Sid. I'll accompany you in the front, all right?
I'm not going to sit in the back with
We're
him.
not asking you, lady. You should just move yourself.
Unless you want your husband hurt. Now, you don't want that, do you?
No, please
Damn
don't.
it, man. Just move, lady.
Now then, push the seat forward. Into the back you go. You know, I like these two-door cars, don't you, Mr. Jamison? It means the people in the back are nice and secure, if you get my meaning. Now, Sid, in you get. Look after Mrs. Jamison.
Don't you touch my wife.
No, I wouldn't touch this old crow. I like him a bit younger than this.
Oh, Sidney, what's your manners? Now, Mr. Jamison, you get in, and I'll get in, and we'll be put off.
Donald Jamison starts the car and drives out of the parking garage. At the exit, he considers saying something to the cashier, but realizes that it might endanger their lives. So he pays the parking fee and drives into Van Ronda Street, heading north.
Where do you want to go?
Well, I don't know. What do you fancy, Sid?
How much money has this bloke got in him? Have you checked?
Not yet. Mr. Jamison?
Well, I've only got about 6 or 7 rand on me.
What? You drive a car like this?
Of course, Sid. He's one of the plastic money brigade. Right, Mr. Jamison?
Yes.
I've got some money in my bag.
Oh, yeah? How much?
Watch your feet!
You stupid!
You keep driving, Jamison. Don't you try.
It's really stupid, lady. Hey, what do you think you were going to do, eh?
Did she have a gun there, Sid?
No way, one of those gas spray things.
Oh, don't you hurt my wife. Now, I'm warning you.
Ow! I'm warning you. Either one of you tries anything like that again, you'll wish you were never born. Understand me?
Yes, but just leave my wife alone. Louise, are you all right?
Yes, yes.
You've been to too many flicks, lady.
Now then, Mr. Jamison, tell me, where do you live?
Melrose North, Laura Lane.
Yeah, I like the address. It's good enough for me.
All right, Mr. Jamison, Laura Lane, Melrose North, please, and don't try anything stupid.
Hey, you just went through a red light, man. What are you trying to do?
I'm sorry. I wasn't concentrating.
Get your act together. We don't want to get a ticket, do we?
Benny, there's a cop car coming up behind us.
Traffic guys?
No, I think it's a flying squad.
He's flashing his lights. He wants me to pull over.
Well, what are we going to do, Benny?
No. Take it easy. Don't anyone panic. Pull over, Mr. Jamison, and whatever you do, just remember your wife in the back here.
Oh, please, Donald, do what they say. Please.
Donald Jamison slows the car and pulls over next to the curb. Car 48, crewed by Sergeant Fred Brown and Constable Harry Evans, stops behind him. The two policemen get out of their vehicle and approach the Jamison car from opposite sides. Sergeant Brown stops next to the driver's side.
You went through a red light back there, sir.
Yes, I know, Sergeant. I'm sorry, I wasn't concentrating.
You were lucky not to have an accident.
Yes, I know that, yes.
Do you have your license on you, sir?
Oh, yes. Here.
Constable, check out the registration.
Right, Sergeant.
Mr. Jamison, I'll just give you a warning, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant. I'll be more careful.
All okay, yes, Sergeant.
Right, Constable. All right, Mr. Jamison. Just watch your driving.
Yes, Sergeant. Yes, thank you.
Well, nice going there, Mr. Jamison.
How are you feeling, Mrs. Jamison? My knife made you nervous.
Louise, are you all right?
Yes. Oh, everyone's fine. Good. Now then, let's get to your house, Mr. Jamison, and we'll see what's what.
Out there, Sarge.
You're telling me? Come on.
Are you going after them?
No, not after them. We're going to follow them. See if anything develops.
It's not on the stolen car list. Registration, third party, and license checked out.
Yeah, bloke's driver's license also looked okay.
So what's bothering us?
The other passengers in the car. That's what bothered me.
Yeah, there was something strange there. Can't quite put my finger on it.
I'll tell you what it was. They were tense. And not just because of going through a red light. Something else going on there.
So we tail them. And then?
I don't know. Let me give control a call and see if they've got anything on the car. Or a Mr. Donald Jamison, 184 Laura Lane, Melrose North.
Sergeant Brown radios into control and requests any information on the car and its driver. It is 12:15 a.m. as the two policemen drive down through the wilds onto the M1 North, keeping well behind the Jamisons' car so as not to alert the occupants. Donald Jamison takes the Athol Oaklands off-ramp into Athol Oaklands Road and then left into Kernick Avenue, left again into Porter Avenue, and finally right into Laura Lane. The police car turns into Laura Lane just as the other car disappears up the long tree-lined driveway of number 184. Sergeant Brown stops the squad car just short of the driveway.
Control to car 48. Control to 48. Come in, 48. Over.
Car 48 control. Car 48 control. Receiving your control. Go ahead. Over.
No information on Dark Blue Berkeley Delta Foxtrot Bravo 141 Tango. Also, no information on Mr. Donald Jamison. Over.
Thank you, control. We'll check the house out. Over.
All right, 48. Keep us informed. Over. Hand out.
All right, Constable. Let's go and take a look at the house.
Yes, Sarge. I wonder what's going on.
Your guess is as good as mine. And the only way to find out
is by taking a look.
Right, first time, Constable. We'll keep to the shadows and watch out for dogs.
Oh, that's all I'm short of, Sarge. Getting chewed up by a dog.
Right, let's keep it nice and quiet.
Okay. Where the hell is the house? This driveway goes on forever.
No, just round there. See it?
Oh, yeah. Big place.
Damn it. All the outside lights are on.
Not going to be easy getting close to the place without being seen.
Now, wait a minute. Stop. If we keep right up against the trees, move along over the side of the house, then we can get up to the building without being seen, if we're lucky.
Sarge, Over at that window. There they are. 3 blokes and a woman.
Yes. And the one bloke and the woman don't look very happy.
No, I'd say. Hey, Sarge. That guy's got a gun.
I see it.
What do we do, Sarge? We can't just rush in there. One of those people might get hurt.
Constable, get back to the car. Get on to control. Tell them what's going on and ask them to send another car here. I don't think we're going to be able to handle this alone. Tell them to move it.
12:40 a.m. In the house, Benny Lamont and Sid DeToy stand in the wood-paneled study. Donald and Louise Jamison are sitting on leather chairs, their faces showing the strain of the situation.
Right, come on. The safe, man.
Steady, Sydney boy.
Where's the safe?
Behind that picture there, over the fireplace.
Oh, very original. And I don't mean that picture.
I'll open it for you.
No, thank you, Mr. Jamison. I'll open the safe. Oh, not that I don't trust you. But there is just the outside chance that you've got a gun in there. And you might try something heroic.
No, I wouldn't.
You better not, boy. Because if you do, I'd love to smash your face.
There you see, Mr. Jamison, you've upset Sid. And that's not good news. So you go and sit down next to your wife like a good little boy. I'll open the safe. And Sid here, he'll keep an eye on you, just to make sure you don't do nothing silly.
I wish this boy would. Just one little move, Sap.
Now, take it easy, Sid.
Please take the money and then go. We won't call the police or anything.
No, I'm sure you won't.
Is there money in there, Benny? What is there?
Pretty little diamonds, earrings, you name it.
Please don't take those. They belong to my mother.
Oh.
She did?
Yes.
Then she won't be needing them, will she? What else you got there, Benny?
I'd say about $3,000 in cash. Yeah, not a bad haul here. And of course, a gun. Nice fat automatic for
Hey, so you were going to try something, huh?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't going to...
Stop it,
shut up before you catch a clown,
All right. You've got what you want. Now, please go.
You're in a bit of a hurry to get rid of us. The night is still young.
Sarge!
Yeah, man, keep your voice down. You get through to control?
Yes, Sarge. They haven't got any cars available right now. They want us to stay here, watch what's going on. As soon as they have a car to send, they'll send it.
Okay, but I'm not so sure we can just stay out here. I don't like the way things are going in there.
Why? What happened?
That bloke there, the young one. Looks like he's just itching to climb into Jamison.
They both got guns.
Yeah. I think they got one out of that safe.
What do we do?
I think we're going to have to try and get into the house.
And then?
Disarm them. Don't ask me how, Constable. I haven't thought that one out yet.
Give them time, Sarge. They're having drinks now. Just look at that.
That could work in our favor. They could get drunk. That'd slow them down. Then, on the other hand, they could turn really nasty. We'd have to move in smartly before the Jamisons get hurt.
If only we knew the layout of the house.
Well, we don't. I can only see 2 doors leading into that room. The study.
So if we can get into the house, and I go in the one door and you go in the other one...
No. I don't like that idea. We don't know if we can get to both doors at the same time. And then we suddenly appear, they start shooting, we start shooting. Hell, Constable, can you see what'll happen with all that lead flying around?
Yeah, I see what you mean, Sarge. So what are we going to do?
I think I've got an idea. Let me think it through. It might just work.
You don't want a drink, Mr. Jamison? Nice drop of scotch?
No.
And what about you, Mrs. Jamison?
No, thank you.
Yeah, see how polite your wife is. She said, no, thank you.
Come on, Benny, man. Let's get the stuff we want and go, man.
Oh, just like you said. Rush in, rush out. You miss all the best stuff.
Yeah, but come on.
Don't be in such a hurry, man. First, we're going to need a case of some kind for all these lovely goodies. And then I think we should maybe look around and see what else there is. You never know your luck. I mean, just look at it. When we started out tonight, we didn't think things were going to turn out this way, did we? We didn't expect a jackpot like this now, did we?
What is the matter with you two? You've got what you want. Why don't you go? Leave us alone.
Hey, don't you tell us what to do, eh? You want another clown? You like being smacked?
No, of course I don't.
Oh, they like to frighten people. They enjoy our fear, isn't that it?
Oh, listen, Sid, we're going to get a lecture in psychology.
What?
Oh, Sid, you go upstairs, check the place out, see what you can find.
And leave you down here with these two?
Well, why not, Sid? You think I can't handle them?
If I go scratching around upstairs, there might be some sort of alarm system, and if I set it off...
Ah, nice going there, Sid. You're not just a pretty face. That's good thinking, me old China. Now then, what you do is to take Mr. Jamison here with you, and he'll make sure that no alarms goes off.
We turned off the alarms when we came, and you saw my husband doing it.
Yeah, but you see, your husband tried to get smart with the gun in the safe. And now our trust in him has been broken. Pity about that.
All right, big deal. Up you get. We're going for a little walk.
Oh! Why did you hit him? He didn't do anything.
Just a little warning, that's all. Just to let him know who's boss. You know, in case he tries something you once saw in the movies. Hero stuff.
I won't try anything.
No, I'm sure you won't. Because I'm sure you'll remember that I'll be down here with a little lady. Don't forget that, eh? All right, off you go, Sid, and don't hurt him.
There's lights gone on. Looks like a bedroom.
Looks like he's searching around. Jamison's standing against the wall.
Yeah, he's got a gun on him. I think this is our chance. They separated. We can take him out one at a time.
Sure, but how? They're in there. We're out here. How do we get in without warning them?
Over there, Constable. There's a ledge under the bedroom window. Windows are open. There's a sort of trellis thing there under the ledge.
Well, we've got to get to the trellis without being seen.
If I go along the trees, then cut in towards the house, crawl under the study window, then up the trellis, I should make it.
Makes sense so far. But once you get onto the ledge, then you've got to get into the bedroom. Get the guy away from the bloke before he spots you.
I know.
So how are you going to do it, Sarge?
Don't ask me stupid questions, Constable. I don't know.
What do you want me to do?
As soon as I get up there, you get up to the study window. Keep an eye on that bloke. Wait and see what develops, okay?
Okay, Sarge. I just hope this works.
So do I, Constable.
I told you, there's nothing here.
Now, you just keep quiet. I'm sick and tired of all your whinging. Blokes like you think you own the world, eh? Don't you think you're better than me, eh?
No, I don't.
No, you do. Look at the way you look at me. You think I'm rubbish, eh?
No, please. Now, listen,
What? What's the matter?
Nothing. No, look, I'm scared, all right. I admit it. You've got me scared. I'll tell you where the cash is. The cash from my business. There must be at least 10,000 rand in the box. But please, just take it and go.
Now you're talking. Where is it?
Under the bed. That bed there, next to the window.
All right, but if you're trying something, so help me, I'll change the shape of your face, eh? You get me?
I'm not trying anything. My wife.
Keep your voice down, Mr. Johnson. Your wife is still downstairs with the other bloke.
Yes, of course.
Better make sure this one doesn't try anything. Get my handcuffs on him. Better tie his feet up and put a gag on him so he can't shout and warn his friend.
Yes, so you can use my ties. I'll get them for you.
Thank you, sir. You know, when you saw me at the window, I thought for a moment you might give me away. Quick thinking on your part, sir. Thank you. By the way, is there any money under that bed?
No. When you stopped us earlier this evening, what made you follow us here?
I don't really know, sir. Just a feeling I had.
Well, he looks pretty secure.
Yeah. Let's see where Constable Evans...
Is he down there?
Yes. Right next to the study window.
What now?
I think you better stay here. I'm going to go downstairs.
Sergeant Brown signals to Constable Evans, indicating that he is going to go to the study and that Constable Evans must keep watch from the window. In the study, Benny Lamont pours himself another drink.
I think you ought to remember this night for a long time.
Yes.
It'll make for interesting conversation when you have your smart dinner parties.
I don't think they'll want to talk about it.
No? Maybe you won't. There's something wrong.
What do you mean?
It's gone all quiet upstairs.
Well, why? What's happened to Donald?
Shut up. Nothing's happened to your precious Donald. There was movement up there just now. Now it's all quiet.
I didn't hear anything.
Yes, I could hear Steve was talking. I could hear him opening cupboards and things. Now, why is it so quiet?
They could have gone into another room.
Yeah, there's something going on. I don't like it.
How do you know?
Instinct, lady. That's how I've kept away from the law. Just a feeling I get instinct. I'm smart, see? I've been around a long time, and I don't intend slipping up now.
What are you going to do? Go up there?
Oh, no. I'm going to stay down here.
Well, then how will you know there's something wrong upstairs?
Look, don't you start getting smart, because if I'm in trouble, you're in trouble.
Well, what have I done? Please, what have I ever done to you?
Shut up and come here.
Why?
Listen, lady, that wasn't a gentle request. I'm telling you, come here.
What are you going to do?
You are going to stand really close to me. So if there's any trouble, you are going to be my ticket out of here.
Sergeant Brown stands just inside the passage leading into the study. Constable Evans is out of sight behind the window. Benny Lamont has his back to the fireplace, holding Louise Jamison in front of him as a shield.
Now, I tell you what we're going to do. You cops are going to walk in here with your hands in the air. Then I'm going to leave with Mrs. Jamison.
No, that's not possible.
Oh, you want to get her killed?
Of course not, Benny. But we can't let you get away, can we?
You think I'm joking? You think I'm bluffing?
No. Constable?
Sarge?
The other car's out there?
Yes, Sarge. 2 more at the bottom of the driveway.
Ah, you're bluffing. If there were more cars, then they'd be here helping you two.
What for? We're doing all right. They know you can't get away. Your friend upstairs is all neatly packaged, ready for a warm cell. So what do you say, Benny?
Please let me go.
Come
Please.
on, Benny. Let the lady go. Come on. You're in enough trouble already.
Sarge, what happened?
He shot himself. You all right, Mrs. Jamison?
Oh, yes. Where's my husband?
He's okay. He's upstairs.
Is this bloke dead?
Yes, Constable. He's dead.
Sid DeToy was charged with attempted robbery with aggravating circumstances. He was found guilty and sent to prison for 15 years.
They prowl the empty streets at night, waiting, in fast cars, on foot, living with crime and violence. These men are on duty 24 hours out of every 24. They face dangers at every turn, expecting nothing less. They protect the people of South Africa. These are the men of Squad Cars.
Listen again next Friday evening to another dramatic story in our South African police series, Squad Cars. Dramatized by Anthony Fridjon, Squad Cars is produced by Colin Fish and directed by David Gooden.
Squad Cars. General Motors and their dealer organization throughout Southern Africa proudly bring you the drama, the danger, the thrills, and the facts when the long arm of the law travels in Squad Cars. The story you're about to hear is true. Details are supplied from the official case files by the South African police. Only names and places have been changed to protect innocent people involved.
1:47 a.m. on the 28th of October, Market Street, Johannesburg. Mr. and Mrs. Harold Freer, having left a nightclub in the vicinity, are walking east to where their car is parked.
There's that fishing reel I wanted to show you in that shop along here.
What do you want another fishing reel for?
Because it's bigger and better.
And more expensive, I'll bet.
I don't know about that. There's no price on it.
Oh, never mind. Come on.
Wait a minute. Look, there's somebody inside there. They must be stock taking. I'll ask him.
Harold, I'm losing my patience.
Excuse me. How much is the fishing reel there? The one on the stand.
He can't be bothered with you. They're busy.
That's for sure. Do you know what I think?
What?
They're pinching stuff.
(1:50 a.m.) Mrs. Freer is of the opinion that her husband is under the influence of alcohol. Impatiently, she turns to go.
I'm sick and tired of this. I want to go home to bed.
No, they're pinching stuff, I tell you. Look at them.
Harold, they must be stock-taking. Now, will you come away?
Just a minute. Hold on. I say, you in there. Good heavens. They're taking no notice. I've never seen anything so brazen in my life.
Harold, so what if they are burglars? What do you think you're going to do about it?
I'll show you. Oh, the door's locked. They must have gone in the back.
Come on, Sherlock Holmes. Leave it alone. Mind your own business.
Oh, dear. They've got guns.
That settles it. Will you come away now?
No. There must be a watchman somewhere around
It's not our concern, Harold.
Oh, that's typical of you, isn't it? Well, I'm going down to that hotel and call the police. If you want to stay here, you can. I want to report a burglary.
Yes, sir.
It's in Market Street, Winkleman's hunting and fishing shop. They're inside. Looks like they're pinching guns.
How many?
I saw two in the shop.
What's your name, please?
Freer, F-R-E-R-E, Harold Freer.
And where are you calling from?
The Grantham Hotel, at reception here.
Very good, sir. We'll send the car right away.
Look, don't send it to the front. It's all locked up there. They must have gone in the back.
All right, sir. We'll attend to it. Good night.
DJ 593742, White Savannah.
No. Hey, what about the one on the corner there?
DJ 439962, a Delta.
Nope.
Control to car 15, control to car 15. Come in, 15. Over.
That's us, Sarge.
Receiving you, Control. Over.
Where are you now, 15? Over.
A corner of Fox and Moy Streets, proceeding west. Over.
Complaint for you. Report of a robbery taking place at Winkleman's, the arms and ammunition people in Market Street. The thieves are said to be on the premises, 2 Europeans. They have arms at their disposal. It is recommended that you go in the back. I'll send another car to cover the front.
Where the devil's the back? It can't be in Commissioner Street.
It must be through the passage somewhere, Sarge.
Well, it's not here in Market Street.
It can't be in Elof.
Well, let's try around the corner into Von Brandis. Hold it. Hey, that must be their car. The one with the doors open. We'll leave the car here. Come.
Okay.
Hey, don't bang the doors.
All right, Sarge.
Hey, that's the passageway there, next to the furniture shop. Don't kick the dustbins on the way in.
Okay, I'll watch it, Sarge.
They must be bringing other stuff out of the car. Oh, they're in for a big surprise, eh?
Yeah, I reckon so. Hey, what was that, Sarge?
There's something ahead. Sounded like... maybe like a door that sticks opening.
Can you see anything there?
It's too dark, and I don't want to use the torch. Hey, careful here. There's a dustbin.
Yeah, I can feel it here.
Hang on. Open door. This must be it. Yes, there's a light through there.
What now, Sarge?
I'll go in. You wait out there. Cover the door.
Okay.
Good idea. In you go, Sarge. Hey, just a minute, you. And I've got plans for you, too. Open this door.
Manny, he's got me.
You stupid idiot.
He's not dead, the copper.
Right. I'll fix him.
Manny, don't leave me.
Every cop in the district will be here just now.
Don't leave me.
Man, you hurt bad. I'll look after you. Take you to the hospital.
If they see me to jail, I'll carry the can.
Oh, I'll make it up to you. Don't worry.
Please, man, take me. I won't be in any trouble.
No, it's best this way.
What's happening?
Oh, shut up, you.
Manny.
I'll be seeing you. You squeal and I'll fix you. If it takes me all my life, I'll fix you.
No, Manny. Manny.
Open this door!
The banging stops as Sergeant Baxter listens for what's going on outside. Some distance away, he hears a car start up and drive away. Then there's nothing. So the sergeant puts his shoulder to the door. But the door's too solid. In the light of his torch, the sergeant shatters the lock with 3 well-placed shots from his revolver. The door swings open. The sergeant flashes his torch, and on the ground he sees the still body of Constable LaRue. Lying not very far away is a man in great pain. He's been shot in the stomach.
Left you in the lurch today.
Please. It's agony.
And what about my crew? He's dead, and I should feel sorry for you.
Please, man. Hospital.
Remembering that Control said they would send a car to cover the front of Winkleman's, Sergeant Baxter walks round into Market Street to find colleagues of his in a squad car. They put the injured man in Sergeant Baxter's car while he reports to Control about what has happened.
The car they were loading the stuff into was a cream Santa Fe, 65 model. I remember the last numbers of the registration, 697. It was a T-Day number. Over.
Message for all cars. Control to all cars. Be on the lookout for a cream Santa Fe, 1965 model, TJ number plates. Last 3 figures of the number 697. The occupants are armed and dangerous. They are wanted in connection with a robbery and the murder of Constable LaRue. End of message. Over and out. Control to car 15. Anything else, 15? Over.
Yes, I'm taking the wounded man to casualty. I'll stay with him. Over.
All right, Sergeant. Tell the crew of car 5 that they're to stay at Winkleman's until they're relieved by murder squad staff. Have you received me, number 15?
2:35 a.m. Having been hauled from his bed, Lieutenant Dirk Labuschagne, along with a police photographer and Detective Sergeant Smithers, arrives in the narrow passageway leading to the back of Winkleman's.
Good morning, sir. Warrant Officer Grayling.
Ah, Mr. Grayling. You and your crew can go.
Thank you, sir.
Sergeant.
Sir?
Try and find a light inside. Torches are totally inadequate out here.
Yes, sir.
And, Sergeant.
Yes, sir?
You'd best rummage around inside for the home number of the owner or the manager.
Right, sir.
Is that you, Dirk?
Who's that?
Dr. Watson, District Surgeon.
Oh, good morning, Doctor.
Oh, shine a light here, will you, please? I'm going to break my neck.
Oh, hang on a sec. There you are.
Thanks. One of your men shot her here.
Squad car man.
Where is he?
At your feet, Doc. There.
Poor devil. How did he cut this lot?
They were ambushed by thieves. That's how I've got the story, anyway. There was a sergeant with him. They pushed the sergeant inside and locked the door. And this little chap was, they shut him down where he was.
Bad business.
Ah, light. Thanks, Sergeant.
Right, sir. I'll get on with looking for that number.
Okay. I reckon your visit's a formality, Doctor?
You don't need a medical degree to see he's been shot dead. Let's have a look here. One in the hip. One in the lower neck on the left-hand side, another in the diaphragm. And this is the one that killed him, heart shot. Take any pictures?
Not yet. We arrived just before you did, sir.
Okay, get what you want and I'll arrange to have him taken to the government mortuary.
His parents left to be informed.
Only a baby. Couldn't have been out of police college long.
Doesn't look like it, does it?
Well, what were the thieves after?
I don't know, Doctor. But whatever it was, doesn't justify killing a man. Fools. They started the night as thieves, and they wound up murderers. We'll catch them, and they'll swing.
Soon after the body of Constable LaRue has been taken away, the manager of Winkleman's arrives.
Which of you is Lieutenant Labuschagne?
That's me.
Good morning. Friedman, the manager here.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Friedman?
Well, now, what's been going on?
Theft and murder. I'd like you to tell me what's missing.
Well, that may take a little time.
Oh, there's no hurry.
All right, I'll get it down right away.
Good. Check everything for fingerprints.
All right, sir.
And that includes the back door.
Well, I've checked the stock against our records, and there are 65 firearms of different kinds missing. Now, they range from gas pistols to a Magnum rifle.
That's quite a haul. Anything else, Mr. Friedman?
There's about 13,000 rounds of ammunition.
I wonder, could you give me a complete inventory of what was taken?
Well, it'll take a little time to compile.
Oh, no, that's all right. I'm going up to the hospital. There's nothing I can do here at the moment.
Lieutenant Labuschagne drives up to the hospital. He has no difficulty in finding Sergeant Baxter in casualty.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Oh, good morning. And how's the patient?
They've given him a painkiller.
They haven't operated on him yet?
No, sir.
Why not?
Well, you can see how busy they are, sir. There just aren't the facilities available at the moment.
Is he able to talk?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let's have a look at him.
This way, sir. He's on a trolley in one of these cubicles.
Looks as though they're at their busiest on weekends. Same as us.
Here he is, sir.
Oh. Has he said anything to you?
No. Thinks he's a tough cookie.
Strong, silent man, eh? So, how are you feeling?
The same as you'd feel with a bullet in your guts.
Don't expect any sympathy from me. One of our men died.
So the sergeant was telling me.
What's your name?
Fred Merck.
Chameleon, eh? What's there to act tough about?
I don't like coughs. I'm allergic to them.
I see the way things are. Who are your pals?
Find out.
They've left you holding the dirty end of the stick, eh?
They look after me.
I only heard two voices, sir. This bloke and the other one.
Is that right? Just the two of you?
I'm saying nothing.
All right. I'll leave you in Sergeant Baxter's care. Stay with him, Sergeant. If he decides to talk, I'll be down at the shop in Market Street.
Right, sir.
Well, Sergeant Smithers, what have you got for me?
Don't know yet, sir. Plenty of fingerprints. But it's my guess that most of them belong to Mr. Friedman and his staff. Won't know until they've all been fingerprinted when they come to work.
Anything else?
No, not so far, sir.
Well, keep looking. I'll come and help you presently.
Very good, sir. Lieutenant.
Oh, yes, Mr. Friedman.
It's that list you wanted.
Oh, thank you very much, thank you. Now, how much is this little lot worth?
Well, at a rough guess, I'd say getting on for 4,000 rand. But, of course, they'll fetch much more than at black market prices.
Where were the weapons kept?
Over this way, here.
Oh, yes, I see. Sort of, strong room. But, Mr. Friedman, how did they get in there?
Well, they obviously had a key.
Obviously. And who keeps the key?
Mr. Michaels during the day, and then when we close up, I have it, along with all the other keys.
Now, if I was a customer of yours, I wouldn't be able to see the strong room, would I?
Well, I'm afraid I don't quite follow you, Lieutenant.
If I came into buying something and stood at the counter to be served, I wouldn't be aware of a strong room, would I?
Oh, I see. No, I don't think you would.
And, Mr. Freeman, if I was a customer, I wouldn't have access to the keys of the strong room.
So you think a member of my staff is involved?
Well, I didn't say that, but things seem to point in that direction. How many people on your staff, Mr. Freeman?
Well, there are 8 of us, and there are 3 non-Europeans.
Is the strong room open all day?
Yes.
And what does Mr. Michaels do with the keys when he's opened the strong room for the day?
Well, I suppose they're left hanging in the lock.
So any member of your staff would have access to the keys?
I suppose so, yes.
So it would be comparatively simple matter for someone to take an impression of the key or make a drawing of it?
Yes.
And then someone would have to make those keys. Locksmith, perhaps. The key in the lock, is it yours?
No. Mine's with this lot here.
That was foolish of them to leave the key behind. And the back door, that wasn't broken open. They must have had a key for that, too.
Lieutenant, I can't understand how it is that the burglar alarm didn't go off.
Oh, there are ways of fixing these things if you know how. I'm afraid, Mr. Friedman, that everything points to some member of your staff being involved.
That's not a very nice thought.
Well, we'll see what daylight brings. Sergeant.
Sir?
Has the photographer gone?
No, sir.
Good. Tell him that I want a photograph of the injured man at the hospital, along with photographs of every member of Mr. Friedman's staff.
Very good, sir. Including Mr. Friedman?
Including Mr. Friedman.
The photographs of the shop staff are taken as soon as they arrive to start the day's work. And along with the photograph taken at the hospital of the man with the bullet wound, they're developed in a dark room at police headquarters. The finished prints are given to Lieutenant Labuskachny and Detective Sergeant Smithers.
Now, let's try and put ourselves in the position of one of the staff members from the shop. If the key was borrowed, it would be during working hours and would have to be put back again as soon as possible, before anybody missed it.
Then whoever did it wouldn't want to go far, would they?
That's right. You go to the nearest place to have the job done. Well, I reckon we'll find it's this one in Commissioner Street here. We'll soon see. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Can I help you?
Well, I'm hoping so. Police.
Oh, what's the trouble?
These keys.
Yeah?
Do you make keys like this?
Yeah.
Did you make these two?
Let me see them. Yes.
How do you know?
It's a bit like asking a farmer how he knows his cows.
I see. Do you remember making them?
No, I do a lot of work, people in and out here all the time.
I understand. How's your memory for faces?
Not bad. Why?
I want you to look at these photographs. Sergeant, please.
Here you are, sir.
Now, if you recognize any of these 12 people, I want you to tell me.
All right, let's have a look. No. Yeah. Not this one. No. Wait a minute.
The woman?
I think so. Let me see the others first. No. Yeah, the woman's been in here. You've got a very nice figure, if I remember rightly.
Do you cut keys while people wait?
Sometimes, if it's urgent.
I see. Right. Thank you. You've been a great help.
What's it all about?
It looks as though you'll be giving evidence at a murder trial. Mr. Friedman, what's your cashier's name?
Mrs. Fairchild.
How long has she worked for you?
Is it her?
Looks as though she's mixed up in it.
Well, I'm blessed. She's worked here for, let me see, must be 3 years now.
You've never had trouble with her before?
Never. She's been 100% reliable, trustworthy.
Have you noticed anything odd in her behavior lately?
No, I can't say I have, except that she's been a bit off color lately. Sort of quiet, not herself.
Mm-hmm. Did you speak to her about it?
No, I presumed she was, had a cold.
Yeah, I see. Mr. Friedman, what sort of people does she associate with?
I don't know nothing of her private life at all, except that she's divorced. But what do you want me to do?
Oh, nothing yet.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
A phone call for Lieutenant Labuskachny.
Right, we'll take it here. Hello?
Lieutenant?
Just hold on a moment.
Oh, thank you.
Sergeant Baxter here, sir. The prisoner at the hospital's regained consciousness after his op.
You're still there?
Yes, sir.
Well, I must arrange for you to be relieved.
Oh, that's all right, sir.
Is he able to talk?
Yes, sir. I don't know whether he will or not, though. But there's something I think you should know. I was with him all the time, sir. And when he was coming round, he kept calling for somebody called Manny.
Ah, good. Anything else?
Yes, sir. He kept saying, don't leave me. Manny, don't leave me.
Oh, this is excellent. Good work, Sergeant.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I'll have somebody sent up to take your place. Then you can go home and get some sleep.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'd welcome that.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Very good, sir.
Good news, sir?
Yes, I think we've stumbled across the name of one of the men involved.
Now, what are you going to do about Mrs. Fairchild?
Well, I'm not going to do anything except have her watched. Fix it, Sergeant. And arrange for someone to take Sergeant Baxter's place at the hospital.
Right, sir.
Arrangements are made there and then for Mrs. Fairchild to be kept under surveillance. The wounded man at the hospital refuses to answer any questions that are put to him. After 3 days, Lieutenant Labuskachny speaks to the police officers who've been keeping tabs on the cashier at Winkleman's.
So?
She's gone straight home every night.
Where does she live?
Eaton Road, Parktown, number 43.
Divorced woman living alone in a house?
It's half a house, sir. She lives in one side and some other people live in the other.
Oh, I see. Have you watched the house at all?
We watched it long enough to make notes of the tradespeople who call there.
Now, let me see. Thank you. Dairy. Butcher, yeah. And what's this?
Horse meat, sir. She's got dogs.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it might be worthwhile talking to the butcher.
Yes, he's been a customer of mine for nearly 3 years. Pays regularly, never any trouble.
Yes, and what's her bill every month?
Oh, it's been quite modest. I supply her with butter, eggs, bacon, and cheese as well.
Same order every week?
Yeah, but until recently.
Reason be, meaning?
She must have someone staying with her. She's ordered stuff lately that she's never had before. Kidneys, liver, veal, and enough chops for 2.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. Thank you very, very much. You've been a great help.
You're welcome, but I can't see how...
Thank you.
And now, sir?
Sounds as though he's at the house. I think we'll meet Mrs. Fairchild on her way home from work tonight.
That's her now, sir.
Right. Flag her down. Oh, good evening, Mrs. Fairchild. You probably remember me from the shop.
No, I can't say that I...
Lieutenant Labuskachny, police.
Oh, what seems to be the trouble?
Well, I think the time has come for us to stop beating about the bush. We know that you have a guest.
Well, that's no crime. I'm a divorcee, an entirely free agent.
Is his name Manny, by any chance?
What's all this about?
Murder's a very serious business, Mrs. Fairchild. So is harboring a criminal.
Well, I don't know where you get your information.
There are ways and means, Mrs. Fairchild. We'll ride the rest of the way with you, I think. Move over, Mrs. Fairchild. I'll drive.
Car containing Mrs. Fairchild and the 2 police officers is driven into the grounds of number 43 Eaton Road.
The garage there, Mrs. Fairchild?
Yes.
The cream Santa Fe. Manny's car?
Yes.
Last 3 figures, 697. That's it, all right, sir.
Libby? Is that him?
Yes.
Answer him. Tell him to come into the garage. We've got parcels to carry.
Is that you, Libby?
Yes. Won't you come give me a hand?
What's the matter?
Go, Mrs. Fairchild. Just take it easy.
Are you all right? Where have you been?
She was giving us a lift.
What?
Let's have nothing fancy. Keep your hands well away from your body. Otherwise, I might get nervous with this pistol.
David Mannheim was arrested without difficulty. When the premises at number 43 Eaton Road were searched, all the missing firearms and ammunition were discovered in a room of the house. Mannheim had been busily engaged filing the serial numbers off the weapons. He was a blanket salesman.
due to go on an extensive trip in the Transkei. During previous visits, he discovered that guns were a very saleable commodity, fetching exorbitant prices. It had been his intention to hide the deadly load among his legitimate merchandise. Mannheim's accomplice, a man called Peter de Blanche, was sentenced to 5 years in prison for his part of the crime. Mrs. Fairchild became a state witness, and she was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment, suspended for 3 years. Mannheim was convicted of murder and duly hanged at Pretoria Central Prison.
They prowl the empty streets at night, waiting, in fast cars, on foot, living with crime and violence. These men are on duty 24 hours out of every 24. They face dangers at every turn, expecting nothing less. They protect the people of South Africa. These are the men of Squad Cars. Listen again next Friday evening to another authentic story in our dramatic South African police series, Squad Cars, brought to you by General Motors, makers of the biggest and most exciting range of cars, trucks, and commercial vehicles in the world. Cadillac, Buick, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Beaumont, Chevrolet, Opel, Holden, Vauxhall, Bedford, GMC, and Ranger, South Africa's own car. Squad Cars. The story you're about to hear is true. Details are supplied from the official case files by the South African police. Only names and places have been changed to protect innocent people involved.
Johannesburg, Monday the 25th of June, 8:30 p.m. The street outside the tall, glittering facade of the Grafton Hotel is a crawling queue of impatient traffic. Some cars inch slowly into off-street parking garages. Others hoot impatiently as indecisive drivers seek any open space to leave their vehicles and make for the cinemas and restaurants of the city's concentrated centers of entertainment. One car, a gaudy, customized American limousine, slips quickly into a newly vacated spot directly opposite the hotel's main entrance. The driver switches off the motor and turns to the young man beside him. Both men are dressed in expensive casual gear. Both appear nervous.
Bit of luck, eh?
Yeah, luck. Got a cigarette?
Yeah. Time you bought some of your own.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Just that I'm smoking too much, man. Got a light?
You want a lot, don't you? Yeah.
Thanks, I'll, Hey.
What's the matter?
That's a gun.
What?
In your build there, you brought a gun.
Sure.
We said no guns.
Now, listen, man, don't be crazy. How do we know about these blokes? We don't even know who they are. They could be anybody.
Yeah, but no guns, Tony.
They won't even know it's here. I'll keep it out of the way. Just want to be sure they don't try a fast one. But 10 grand's worth of stones here, Louis, boy. People have been killed for less than that. I want to walk out of the hotel with the money and alive. You get me?
Listen, man, if anything goes wrong, if...
I'm not going to let anything go wrong. That's what this is for. Now, you coming to collect that money? Or are you going to sit there all night and smoke my cigarette?
8:35 p.m. The two young men leave the car, locking the doors carefully behind them, and cross the busy street to the hotel's main entrance. As they wait in the plush, noisy foyer, impatiently watching the lighted display above the lift doors, two other men, older, more conservatively dressed, are seated in a suite on the 15th floor.
Another one?
Your glass is empty.
Oh, yes. No, I don't think so. Not yet. What's the time?
20 to 9.
They said 8:30.
Traffic's bad out there. Give them a whirl.
Don't like it.
It'll be all right. I've done it before.
Do you know these men?
Not these two, no. I know where they come from. It isn't a police trap, I can promise you that. But have another drink. By the time I've poured it...
Spence.
Aha.
What do I do about it?
What's the matter with you? We worked it out, didn't we?
Yes.
You sit right there. You don't move. I have the money. I handle everything. You don't say a word. But all the while...
I keep this gun under my coat.
You won't need it. There's no point in taking chances. Right. You ready?
Yes.
Mr. Spence?
Yes.
I'm Tony. I spoke to you on the phone.
Yes, of course. Come on in.
This is Louis.
Close the door.
Well?
And see what you've brought, Tony.
Sure. First things first. 10 grand, we said.
I don't know you, Tony. No insult intended, but I have to be sure.
So in the stones, Louis.
Yes, that's the idea. While I make sure that they're the real thing, perhaps you two young gentlemen would like to help yourselves to a drink over there.
Eh? No.
What?
Those stones stay with Louis. You can look at them, but he hangs on to them.
That isn't possible, Tony.
What do you mean?
I have to make sure they're real. It's reasonable, isn't it? I can't do that simply by looking at them. I have to examine them under that light over there.
Sure. And in the meanwhile, you work a switch and then tell us you don't want to buy. I wasn't born yesterday,
Listen,
Spence.
boy.
I'm nobody's boy. We do it my way.
Tony.
Stay out of this. Well?
No deal.
Honest, I've come a long way, taking a lot of chances.
That's the difference between us, Tony. I don't take chances.
No, you think you're playing with kids when you're wrong, both of you. I don't get money. You get the stones just the way they are. Take it or leave it.
Don't be silly.
Tony, put that gun away.
Bernstein.
Yes, Tony, look out.
What?
Tony.
What the blazes you do that for?
You shouted. I thought...
You have to shoot him. Is he... He's dead as last week's mutton. The other one's gone with the stones.
What are we going to do, Spence?
Get your bag. We clear out now.
The deep carpets and thick walls of the Grafton Hotel effectively muffle the sound of Bernstein's gun. It is not until 8 o'clock the following morning that Tony's body is discovered.
Mr. Schultz?
Yeah?
I'm Lieutenant Donaldson. This is Sergeant Bree. Brixton murder and robbery. You telephoned.
Oh, yeah, please. Come in. Close the door.
Thank you.
There are no reporters from the newspapers?
We're policemen, Mr. Schultz. Now, I understand there's a body in one of the
You
rooms.
see, it's not me, but the principals of the hotel in Europe. If they read unpleasant publicity about the Grafton, it would be more than my job is worth. At all costs, we must prevent the newspapers.
It's up to you, Mr. Schultz. If there's been a crime...
Yeah, a man has been shot. Been shot to death.
Let's see. Can you take us there, please, as quickly as possible?
Of course. Please, the publicity, you must assure me.
Body, Mr. Schultz. Is he gone?
Not too far, I shouldn't think. He's probably standing outside the door, making sure there isn't a reporter hidden out there.
Yeah, he's only doing his job, I suppose. Well, one thing. Doesn't look as if anything's been touched in here since the crime, that is.
Young blokes, huh?
Dead for a while, I should think. And the doc will have to tell us, eh? Did you get through to the...
They're all on their way, sir. Doctor, ambulance, fingerprint people, the lot.
Good. Yeah, this isn't going to make Mr. Manager Schultz very happy.
Oh, no, sir. One of the ambulance chasers from the press is bound to pick it up.
It's not our problem. There's our problem down there on the floor. What do you make of it, Sergeant?
Shot through the chest. Large caliber pistol, at a guess. 38 or 45. Large exit wound. Oh, well, it's bound to be here somewhere. Probably in one of the walls.
We'll start a search in a minute. Let's have a look through the room first.
Very fancy.
Yes. A suite. Bedroom through there. And another one through there. You got that page from the register?
Messrs. Spence and Bernstein. You want to take a look at it, sir?
Yeah, in a minute. With our luck, they're bound to be false names. There doesn't appear to be much left. There's no luggage. Check the bathroom, will you, Sergeant?
Right, sir.
Hello?
Found something, sir?
Oh, what do you make of this?
Black cloth.
Velvet. Very nice. Almost as big as a large handkerchief. Spread out here under the reading lamp.
Someone's taken the cover off the lamp.
And so they have. I wonder why.
It hasn't been knocked over. Just carefully taken off and put down beside it.
And the velvet spread out on the table.
He wanted more light.
Yeah, that's it. To look at something. The velvet.
Diamonds.
What?
Well, that's what jewelers put diamonds on. Bits of cloth like that.
How would you know a thing like that, Sergeant?
Got engaged just before Christmas, sir. Had to buy her a ring.
Amazing way you learn things, isn't it? Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're looking at an IDB deal that went sour.
Illicit diamond buying. But that's not our department, sir.
Yes, it is when someone gets killed. I wonder if he was the buyer or the seller.
Well, maybe we'll find out when we get his name.
Yeah. Either way, we're going to need help.
Help, sir?
There's a squad at John Foster Square that knows a lot more about these people than we do.
Despite energetic protests from the manager of the Grafton Hotel, it isn't long before the foyer is crowded with eager reporters and photographers. Members of the various technical departments of the police complete their tasks, and the body is removed to the government mortuary. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Donaldson and Sergeant Foree have enlisted the help of the Gold and Diamond Squad at John Foster Square. The man in charge is Major Fred Bierkus.
Yes. Not a very good shot.
Best we could get, Major. The man will be dead for at least 6 hours. Doctoring's probably longer.
Could be any one of a dozen. Fingerprints will be a help.
If he had a previous conviction, sir.
Most of them have. Not always for IDB, but chances are that he's been up to something crooked in his short life. The Grafton, you say?
Yeah, nothing but the best. We found him in one of the most expensive suites.
Well, there's a lot of money involved. These people aren't shy in spending it. They don't call us the glamour squad for nothing, Lieutenant.
The names Spence or Bernstein mean anything to you, Major?
Not offhand. But my record's at your disposal, of course. Yeah, Major Bierkus? Who? Oh, yes, hang on. He is for you, Lieutenant.
Oh, thank you. Lieutenant Donaldson? What? I see. Yes. Yes, thank you. Carry on with the other prints, will you?
Bad news, Lieutenant.
Yeah, the prints on the body. There's no record of the man.
It's not going to make it easier.
No. Until we can identify the body, we're a long way from finding the man who killed him.
Hello? Police? Yeah, I want to talk to someone about a murder. No, it doesn't matter what my name is. I want to talk to someone about the murder at the Grafton Hotel. It's urgent, man, really urgent.
Tuesday, the 26th of June, 11:15 a.m. Fingerprints collected at the scene of the crime are all carefully checked with the records at John Foster Square and at Central Records in Pretoria, while photographs of the dead man are circulated to the various departments. It is only when Lieutenant Donaldson reaches his office that he learns of a mysterious telephone call.
Who?
Wouldn't give a name, sir. Just said he had information about the Grafton murder.
What information?
He was even cagey about that. Wanted to speak to you, the officer in charge.
Crank, you think?
It's possible, sir. Although there was nothing in this morning's papers.
Right, it'll be a different story this evening. That hotel was crawling with press when I left.
Poor Mr. Schultz.
Yeah, he was mad if he thought he could keep a thing like that out of the papers. Funny, isn't it, Sergeant? People get murdered in the back streets of Soweto nearly every day. How often do they make the papers? The luxury suite at the Grafton, front-page stuff.
Human nature, sir. Sergeant Foree? Oh, you again.
Mysterious caller.
Yeah, he's here. That's right, sir. You want to talk to him?
He can't do any harm. Hello? Lieutenant Donaldson?
You the man in charge of the Grafton Hotel case?
How do you know about that? You connected with the hotel? Someone from the press?
I've got to talk to you.
Are you a newspaperman?
Now listen, I was there.
You were what?
I was there in the room. I saw it happen. I've got to talk to you.
I hope you're not wasting my time.
I swear I'm in trouble. I need help. Where can I meet you?
Here, Main Road, Brixton, murder and robbery.
No, I can't do that. Listen, I'm scared. Somewhere else.
All right, you tell me then.
Do you know the Tangier Roadhouse up near Yeovil?
Yeah, I know where that is. Drive-in place.
Half an hour, I'll be there. Look for a big red car. Washington Trans America.
Well, I hope he's genuine.
You're going to meet him, sir?
Why not, Sergeant? He may not be a reporter. Certainly sounded frightening enough.
By now, the early editions of the afternoon papers are on the streets of the city. Thousands of readers are poring over the sensational coverage on the front pages. To the far north of the city, in the affluent suburb of Dunkeld, a car stops outside a cafe. A man enters, casually buying a packet of cigarettes and a newspaper. He returns to the car.
Yeah, famous, Bernstein.
What?
Look at that. You're on the front page.
Mysterious killing at luxury hotel. Spence,
You didn't think the papers were going to ignore it, did you?
we've got to clear out.
No.
Those names of the hotel, we left our real names.
Not our address. We could be anyone.
They'll get us. You know the cops are like.
I'm not going till I get those diamonds. I've been waiting a long time for that packet.
You didn't shoot him. I did.
Makes no difference. We'll go in time. You've got open tickets to New York, haven't we? Pick up a flight out just as soon as I have that packet.
When? How?
Leave it to me, Bernstein. Let's go for a ride, shall we? Some lunch. I don't know about you, but I'm starving.
As Bernstein and Spence head away from the northern suburbs, a small police car pulls into the tarmac quadrangle in front of the Tangier Roadhouse. Sergeant Paris soon spots the American car.
There it is, sir. Not hard to spot that one. Washington, Transamerica. Can't be more than half a dozen of those in the country.
No, I can see it. Pull up next to it.
One man in there.
And he's ignoring us.
Because we don't look like police, do we, sir? I think we've got to go to him.
Yeah, I'll go over it.
You said he was frightened, sir. He could be dangerous.
Somehow I don't think so. Hello? Open your window, please. I'm Lieutenant Donaldson.
You? You police?
That's right. You're the man I spoke to on the phone.
Yeah. Get in quick.
Now, what's all this about?
You sure you're police?
Here. Here's my certificate of appointment. My sergeant's sitting in the car next door. Do you want to see his as well?
Just that you don't look like police.
You said you were there, in the room, the Grafton Hotel.
When they shot Tony, yeah, I was there.
Tony?
Yeah, Tony May. Well, you know it was Tony. I mean, you found his body. I read it in the paper.
We didn't know his name, not until now. Who shot him?
Don't know what his name was. One of them. It wasn't Spence. The other one, a fat one, older.
Did he call himself Bernstein?
Yeah, something like that. Tony did all the deals. I was just along for the ride, you know.
IDB?
Yeah, of course. What do you think it was?
You said something about being scared.
Sure, they still want the stones, don't they?
You have the diamonds.
Sure, I ran as soon as I saw Tony had it. I just took off out of that place so fast.
With the diamonds?
You'll see. They're in here. In this bag. Take a look.
So that's what he was killed for.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
How's our little informer?
Comfortable as possible. Got him the best cell in the place. On his own, 5-star treatment.
He's not unhappy, is he?
Happy as a sandboy. He's safe. They'll never get him in there.
Yeah, but I'm worried. I'm thinking.
What?
The only way we'll get Spence and Bernstein is in a trap.
Trap?
Think about it, Sergeant. We know their names. Apart from that, nothing. The city's full of Spences and Bernsteins. For all we know, they could be from Durban or Cape Town. They might not even be South African. Louis couldn't even be sure about that. Gem Squad has no record of them.
So they could be out of the country?
Yeah, they could be. But Louis is sure they're not. His friend Tony set up the deal after a lot of wrangling. These were big buyers, he said. When big buyers sniff a parcel like this one, they're hard to shake off.
Do they know how to contact Louis, though?
No. But they know how to contact his dead friend. They might assume that Louis will go back there. They might use a middleman.
And as long as Louis is locked up in that cell downstairs...
He's a dead end. Yeah. No hope at all.
You know what surprises me?
What, Sergeant?
The Golden Diamond people at John Foster Square. The Gem Squad, I mean. If these two really are big boys, and if this Tony character, the dead one... I mean, if he was a long-standing dealer, then you'd think they would know about it. Have some kind of record.
No, not necessarily. There's a huge trade in illegal gemstones, Sergeant. The only records they have are the ones that get caught. Tip of the iceberg.
Well, it makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, a lot of people turn a sort of blind eye to illicit diamond buying. I remember an uncle of mine. He He said after rugby it was South Africa's national sport.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. People don't think. Look what this little deal's led to. One dead body already. That man in a cell downstairs with very little to look forward to.
Is he going to be charged?
Well, it depends on how much of the truth he's been telling. Right, we're wasting time.
Louis going free?
Under our very careful supervision, yes.
He isn't going to like it, Lieutenant.
No, you're crazy.
There's no other way, Louis. You have to do it.
No, I don't. I know my rights. I don't have to do anything.
I suppose that's true, but if you don't, we only have your word that this character Bernstein shot Tony.
Well, it wasn't me. I mean, I wouldn't have come to you. I wouldn't have given myself up, would I?
Maybe. Maybe not. It's possible a judge will think differently. Louis, listen. We'll be there all the time. You won't see us, but we'll be there, I promise you.
But I don't know. These are big boys. I mean, they don't play games.
All the more reason to get them. Put them behind bars where they'll be safe. You'll be safe. Think about it, Louis. If we don't arrest them, what sort of life are you going to have? Two dangerous men at large, knowing that you've got a large packet of diamonds, knowing that you're the only witness to a murder they committed. You can't spend the rest of your life in a cell. And then?
You say you'll be there all the time?
Breathing down your neck.
Okay.
Good man. Right. This is what we're going to do.
We're wasting time, Spence. How do we know the man even lives here?
Because I paid for the information. I paid plenty. That's where he lives, over the road, I promise you.
Doesn't mean to say he'll come home. He's running scared.
Where else will he go?
I don't know. He's got a parcel of stones, hasn't he? 10,000 worth in the illicit market. 10 times that in New York. Maybe more. It could be anywhere.
He wouldn't know what to do with them. Oh, he'll come back any moment now.
It's not
the big red car. That was Tony's car. Sure of it. That's what they told us. Look out for a big red American car. Flashy. There it is.
You're not going to go over there. Just walk in.
Oh, no. Paid for the telephone number, too, didn't I? Come on, there's a phone on the corner.
Answer it, Louis, answer it.
There he goes.
Yes?
Louis Weber?
Yeah.
Spence. You remember me?
Spence?
Yes, I can hear you do.
Listen, I don't need you. You killed Tony.
Listen to me. It was an accident. It shouldn't have happened, you saw. He pulled the first gun. You saw that, didn't you?
Sure, but...
Make any difference to the deal? We still have a deal, don't we? I mean, I have the money and you have the stones. I'm sure you'd rather have the money, wouldn't you? 10,000 rands.
Yeah, but...
Nothing to be frightened of. Nothing. Where do we meet? Shall I come to you?
No, not here. Somewhere public, in the open.
I'm not so stupid after all. All right. For all sorts of reasons. I think the airport, don't you? Safe and convenient. Jan Smuts Airport.
Where and when?
In 45 minutes from now. It should give us both plenty of time.
Yeah, where?
You know the big observation lounge in the overseas departure hall upstairs?
Yeah.
Go and sit next to the window in the corner nearest the door. Go and watch the planes, Louis.
All right, but...
And don't worry about a thing. We'll recognize you. You just sit there. We'll do the rest.
45 minutes does not allow the police much time to arrange an elaborate trap. But they swing into action with all the forces they can muster. The upstairs lounge is swiftly cleared of the public, and plainclothes police occupy the deep, easy chairs. Police dress as waiters and airport staff, and Lieutenant Donaldson and Sergeant Faree wait anxiously behind a pillar, not 3 meters from the frightened figure of Louis Wepener, as he huddles on a seat, staring across the busy apron of Jan Smuts Airport.
There he is, Spence. Come on.
Just a minute. Let's be sure.
Sure about what? That's our man, Spence. I recognize him anywhere.
I know. I can see him all right. Yes, looks clear enough. Just enough people around, not too many. Funny, I would have thought there'd been more this time of the day.
We're wasting time. That plane.
Yes, we have a plane to catch, don't we? Come on. Hello, Louis. You bring the stones?
Yeah. Here they are.
To take your word for it this time. Right, here's the money. Come on, hand over the stones.
Is this what you're looking for, Mr. Spence?
Spence? The police?
Police? No, don't try and run. You're surrounded.
Rat.
You won't do a thing, either of you. Sergeant?
Sir?
Get the cuffs on them both. Let's get out of here.
David Charles Spence and Joshua Bernstein were charged with the murder of Tony May and for attempting to trade in illicit gemstones. Both were found guilty and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Louis Weppener was charged with attempting to trade in illicit gemstones. At the trial, the judge commended him for cooperating with the police, and he was sentenced to 3 years in prison, the whole sentence suspended for 5 years.
They prowl the empty streets at night, waiting, in fast cars, on foot, living with crime and violence. These men are on duty 24 hours out of every 24. They face dangers at every turn, expecting nothing less. They protect the people of South Africa. These are the men of Squad Cars.
Listen again next Friday evening to another dramatic story in our authentic South African police series, Squad Cars. Dramatized by Dale Cutts, Squad Cars is directed by Colin Fish and produced by David Gooden.